We are living in the easiest and maybe the most overwhelming time to buy a guitar. Solid axes are more affordable than ever, and even budget models come loaded up with features that used to be reserved for the more high end gear. But here's the problem with so many choices out there, it's easy to get stuck. Should you go with active pickups, a thinner neck, locking tuners? Everyone's got an opinion, and the advice often sounds the same. But what if all that gear talk is missing the real reason you should choose one guitar over another, especially if you're serious about improving your shred skills? In this episode, I'm going to share with you the number one thing to look for when buying a new guitar. Think you know what it is? Drop your guess in the comments. I would be surprised if it lines up with what I'm about to say. So let's jump in. So if you've ever done any research yourself and looked into what exactly you should be looking for when you're about to maybe buy your next guitar or a new guitar, you've likely run into one of these items that I'm about to share with you. A lot of people will say just pick what sounds good, and of course that makes sense because we're making music with our guitars. Of course, you want something that sounds good. And they'll often say, get something that feels good. Yeah, you're going to be holding it close to you. You're going to be having that guitar in your hands. You want it to feel right against your fingertips. You want that action to be however you want it to be. A lot of the metal shredders out there like it nice and low. Of course, that's something that can always be adjusted later on. But you might also hear someone recommend that you should get a versatile guitar, something that can just do it all. And really, to be honest, you can play just about anything on any guitar anyway, especially if you're an electric player. But you would also want to be mindful of something that is in your budget. You should set a limit in your mind before you go out into the market and just tell yourself from the start, hey, I'm not going to cross X amount of dollars when I'm getting a new guitar. And of course, everything I just said is all great advice, but it's not the number one thing you should look for in a guitar. And what I'm about to argue is that the number one thing you should look for is the look of the guitar. Yeah, I know in this case, it's the most superficial quality you could look for, but I would argue it's the best quality. And I would recommend that you get a guitar for this reason because you'll want to pick it up all the time. Naturally, the more time you spend with a guitar in your hands, the more your skills will improve. So if you're looking at something that just makes you want to pick it up and play it all the time, that's only going to make you a better player. And for that reason, I would recommend you prioritize the looks of your guitar. And this thought kind of goes with or even against the point I mentioned earlier about people recommending a versatile guitar. But if you have a guitar that, based on its appearance, resembles or reminds you of a specific genre that you love to play, and you associate that genre with your guitar, it can help you inspire some ideas within that style of music. So, for example, if you have a BC Rich Warlock, which I always used to want back in the day because it looks so cool and pointy and it just looks so metal, that can give you some pretty heavy ideas more so than any other type of guitar. And the same applies, on other ends of the spectrum, like a Telecaster, for example, if you're more into the country side of things, something that looks twangy without you even hearing it will give you some pretty sweet ideas in that sphere. So if you're resonating with these types of thoughts that are more geared towards improving yourself as a player, especially a lead guitar player, you will love my Shred Smarter Blueprint. It's my free gift to you. And inside, what I do is I break down the three biggest mistakes that rock and metal players face when they want to shred fast. And once you know what those mistakes are and what to do instead, you'll be able to play faster, tighter, and with way more control than you are right now. So just hit the link for that in the description or go to ZachShawGuitar.com and grab it to start building the skills that really matter. And so there's some long-term implications that relate to this whole idea that the number one thing to look for in a guitar is its looks, because as your tastes evolve over time and the more mouth-watering gear enters into the market, it'll be really easy to see how this idea can turn into a case of gear acquisition syndrome. So take the time to pick out a guitar that you can really see yourself playing for a long time and one that you won't get sick of. So in a way, I think it's kind of good I didn't pull the trigger on some of those low end BC Rich Warlocks back in the day, because I don't know if I could see myself playing them right now. And so when you commit yourself to something that is timeless to you, you're less likely to get bored of playing it. And if you're going to end up collecting more guitars, you might want to incentivize yourself to get better along the way. So, what you can do is reward yourself by waiting until you reach a new level of skill before buying your next guitar. And this could be something like finally mastering a really hard song that you've been working really hard at, or by hitting a new speed PR or personal record by shredding at a tempo that's always been unreachable to you. So this is a good way to give yourself a win-win situation. You're not only rewarding yourself with a new guitar, but you're building your skills along the way. So yeah, while specs and features really do matter, they're not the thing that will keep you picking up your guitar every day and pushing yourself to get better. At the end of the day, the guitar that inspires you the most is the one you'll want to play the most. If that means choosing the axe that just looks awesome hanging on your wall or slung over your shoulder, then go for it. Looks might not affect tone, but they absolutely affect your motivation. And in the long run, that matters way more than any toggle switch or fret count or anything like that. So let me know in the comments, did this surprise you at all? Or have you ever bought a guitar just because you thought it looked cool? And if you're serious about using that guitar that you have or you're about to get to actually shred better and not just let it collect dust, make sure you grab my Shred Smarter Blueprint if you have not done so already. It's a totally free resource and it helps you break out of the 3 biggest mistakes that lead players make, and it shows you what to do instead if you want to be a total shredder. So just click the link in the description or go to ZachSharGuitar.com and grab it for free. I'm Zach with Zach Shar Guitar. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.